Hello and welcome to Sports Moles. We're reading your awards for the 2016-2017 season. We're here to reveal your Premier League Defender of the Season. The nominees in this category were Cesar Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Gary Cahill, Jan Vertonghen, Carl Walker, Marcos Alonso, Michael Keane, Toby Alderweireld and Virgil van Dijk. Barney, who did you vote for?
Well, very difficult category, this one, obviously dominated by Chelsea and Tottenham defenders, mainly that Chelsea back three system worked so well for them. Personally, I went for Cesar Azpilicueta. I think it's now three outfield players to have played every single minute of a title-winning season. Just a fantastic campaign he has, and he's established himself once again as one of the leading defenders in the Premier League, just as solely a defender. You talk about the David Luiz figures now, the modern type of centre-back who can play a bit of football. First and foremost, Azpilicueta is a very, very solid defender. He can play football as well towards the end of the season, especially he was getting up in some fantastic forward positions for Chelsea, which that back three, the system really gave him licence to do. But when you think he's spent most of his career in England at the moment, either at right back or left back, and then he goes into that centre back position in that back three, and he's just thrived even more. If anything, he's improved as a player. Plenty of players there would be capable of winning this award, but for me, Azpilicueta stood just about out ahead of the rest of them.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Usually you can sort of have an idea of who's going to get up there, but the top three is going to be interesting. You've got obviously the two Tottenham centre-backs, Vertonghen and Alderweireld, both had very good seasons. Alderweireld, I think, is slightly the better player for me. I think he's fabulous. Obviously, Michael Keane as well had a very good season, probably going to earn himself a good big move. And the other Chelsea boys in there, Gary Cahill, Luiz, Alonso's popped up with 6 goals, this season. So it's going to be very interesting. I think Virgil van Dijk as well is an interesting one, because he was excellent, wasn't he, for long stages, then picked up that injury, so that maybe might cost him here.
I think the injury definitely has hindered him, and you'd expect him as well, a big money move touted for him to either Man City or Chelsea. Liverpool also thought to be interested in him, and he could set someone back at least £50 million, the form he's been in this season. You mentioned Alonso's goal scoring streak. Cahill again has popped up with so many, and he's just taken on the leadership mantle on the field that John Terry has held for so long at Chelsea. Cahill was one of a lot of Chelsea players last season to have underperformed a bit, but he's just got straight back towards the top of his game, and he's had a fantastic season.
Absolutely, I'm surprised that there's no Valencia in there or Eric Bailly in there, but there's obviously a lot of very good defenders. So Barney, let's take a look and see who's up there.
Okay, well, we'll start with the top three. Third is Toby Alderweireld with 11.5%. Second is David Luiz with 25.2%, and then Azpilicueta is first with 28.6%.
Pleased with the result of that, Barney?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm surprised looking further down. Gary Cahill only got 6.6% of the votes. I'm surprised at that. And Jan Vertonghen got the least votes out of anyone. Very tight between those, really from 9th to 3rd in those categories, but I think Luiz and Azpilicueta head and shoulders above the rest in terms of the voting. David Luiz, he got so much stick during his first stint in came, and everyone said getting £50 million to sell him to PSG was such a good deal. The eyebrows raised when he came back, but he's been sensational. He's just that back three, which I said as Azpilicueta has thrived in. Luiz has done as well, so you can't argue with him being up there as well. Very hard to argue with those results.
Yeah, it is. Just looking at the finals, up 28.6% for Azpilicueta. I think the interesting thing that you mentioned as well, the fact that he can play football as well, didn't he? I think his passing statistics in the Premier League this season was around 87%, which for a defender who has a lot of the ball in the back three, that's impressive, isn't it? So quite well spread out there, and I think you mentioned we're not too surprised with that, are we? But both voted for Azpilicueta, and he's come out on top. So your Premier League Defender of the Season for the 2016-17 season is Cesar Azpilicueta.